Hi friends, good morning. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you that might be new here, hi, welcome. My name is Megan and today we have a little bit different style video today. I actually had the opportunity recently to sit in on one of Depop's live seller store review educational calls. And even though they didn't review my store, there were like 140 other sellers on this call with me. The information they shared explains exactly why certain items sell fast and others just sit. So I wanted to quickly share with you what I learned on that call, and then I'll share with you my 3 most recent Depop sales, all of which sold very quickly, same day, one within a day, and then within a week. And just to be clear, this was not a one-on-one call or anything like that. It was a large group call where a member of Depop's seller team walked through how their search works and what they see performing best across the platform. And honestly, the biggest takeaway was that Depop is way more of a search-based platform than people realize. It's not about how curated your grid looks, and it's not about aesthetics first. It's about whether or not your listing shows up when someone searches. This was the #1 thing they kept repeating. The first 7 words of your title are the most important part of your listing. And she simply said it over and over again. The first 7 words of your title are the most important part of your listing. And that's because Depop weighs your title the most. So whatever you think your buyer is typing into the search bar, that needs to go first. No filler words, no vibes, no cute phrasing. If the first words don't match search behavior, the listing basically doesn't exist. Also said flat out, SEO is more important than how your store looks. So if you're one of those people that's been stressing about what your grid looks like or trying to make everything look cohesive, that matters way less than having strong SEO titles. They also confirmed that every single word in your title becomes a searchable keyword. So if you're using words like cute, perfect, obsessed, those are more filler words and slots that you're taking away from words that could be doing actual work for you in your SEO. Also, if a word is already in your title, you do not need to hashtag it. Those are essentially the same things. The next thing that was covered quite a bit on this call were photos, and not in an aesthetic way, but more in a conversion way. You get 8 valuable photo slots on Depop, only 8, and they should be used for your biggest selling points. That means brand tag, fabric tag, size tag, and other details, especially for items that are vintage or higher end. She even suggested making a collage if you felt like it was necessary, say for a designer item that has quite a few special details that you want to be shown on your listing, and using that collage photo as the last photo of your listing. I've never done that, so that's something that I will definitely keep in mind for the future. Also specifically said fabric matters more than people think, and buyers are actively searching for things like wool, silk, linen, cashmere, things like that. So putting those words in your title are also very important. And for vintage, measurements are huge. Buyers need that added confidence, and having measurements readily available in your listing, whether that be somewhere in your photos or in your description, helps add to that buyer confidence and convert someone who is just looking at your items into an actual sale, an actual customer. So with all of that in mind, I wanted to share with you my 3 most recent Depop sales because I think they're really great real world examples of exactly what they were talking about on this call. First up is this Icebreaker Merino Wool 200 base layer thermal leggings in black, men's size medium. These sold the same day they were listed. I think this buyer sent me like a 10% off offer. These sold for $36 and I will make $33. And what mattered here wasn't really the brand as much as the function and the fabric of the garment. Merino wool, base layer, thermal. Those are all high intent search terms. Someone looking for these knew what they wanted, and their search exactly matched my title. This is a perfect example of front-loading function and fabric instead of adding extra fluff. This next one sold within 24 hours. The Angie floral patchwork slip midi dress, Y2K, coquette, black, pink, size medium. This one worked so well because the buyer I was trying to reach here was very clear. Y2K, slip dress, floral, coquette. Those are all things people are actively searching for on Depop. The title spoke directly to that customer instead of trying to be more broad. This wasn't about being a fancy brand, it was about being searchable. The last sale I'm sharing with you took 7 days to sell on Depop, which is still very fast. Equipment brown, silk button front utility blouse, quiet luxury, clean girl, size small. This is a great example of leading with fabric and aesthetic. Silk is a major search term, and quiet luxury and clean girl also attract a very specific buyer. And I included clear photos, fabric information, and measurements, all which build trust and speed up the buying decision. So the biggest takeaways for me from this Depop call were that Depop is rewarding listings that are built for search, not vibes. If your items aren't selling, it's usually not the item. It's how it's being presented to the algorithm and then essentially to the buyer. So let me know in the comments below, do you focus more on aesthetics or SEO? Because before this call, I really thought Depop was heavily based on your store's vibes, and it turns out that's simply not the case. If you want to let me know in the comments below, did you find this video helpful? I know for sure I'm going to be changing the way I structure my titles. I am going to be heavily thinking about the first 7 words and see how that helps me moving forward. I would say this last week, since being on this call, it has definitely helped with my Depop sales. And with that, I guess I'll let you go, friends. If you took the time to watch this video and you spent your social media currency with me today, I so appreciate you. And if you wouldn't mind just hitting like on your way out, that would be awesome. I'll see you next time, friends. Bye. To have your buyer ask you for the measurements and wait around and
cut.
Thank you, babe. Thank you.
Action.